Bumihar is a Hindu caste native to East India. They are mainly found in Bihar, the Purvanchal region of Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Bengal, the Bundelkhand region of Madhya Pradesh, and Nepal. There is also a significant migrant population of Bhumihars in Mauritius, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana. The Bhumihars claim Brahman status, and are also referred to as Bhumihar Brahmin. In Bihar, they are also known as Brahman, and they have also been called Bumihar. The Bumihars were a prominent land-owning group of eastern India until the 20th century, and controlled 9 small princely states in the region. The Bumihar community played an important role in the peasant movements of India, and was highly influential in politics of Bihar in the 20th century. Etymology. The word Bumihar is of relatively recent origin, first used in the records of United Provinces of Agra and Oudh in 1865. It derives from the word Bhumi, referring to the caste's landowner status. The term Bumihar Brahmin was adopted by the community in the late 19th century to emphasize a claim of belonging to the priestly Brahmin class. The alternate name, Brahman, has been described as a distorted colloquial term for Brahmin. History. As with many castes in India, there are numerous myths regarding the origins of the Bumihar community. One legend claims that their ancestors were Brahmins who were set up to take the place of the Kshatriyas slain by Parashurama, but some non-Bumihars have implied that they are the mixed race offspring of Brahmin men and Kshatriya women. Other legends state that they are the offspring of a union between Rajput men and Brahmin women, or that they derive from Brahmin Buddhists who lost the high position in Hindu society. The Bumihars themselves dislike these narratives involving hybridity or fallen status, and claim to be pure Brahmins. By the 16th century, the Bumihars controlled vast stretches of land in eastern India, particularly in North Bihar. By the late 18th century, along with Bihari Rajputs, they had established themselves as the most prominent landholders of the region. Oral legends suggest that along with Muslims and Rajputs, they displaced the Bar and Chero natives of the region. The weakening of the Mughal suzerainty over the region gave rise to several small Bumihar states. For example, the revenue contractors for the Mughal province of Awadh declared themselves the Maharaja of Benares. They successfully defended their independence against the Nawab of Awadh in the 1750s and 1760s, before becoming a British dependency. Other princely states and fiefdoms ruled by Bumihars included Betia, Tekkari, Hathwar, Tamaki, Shiohar, Maheshadal, Pakure and Maheshpur. The distinctive Bumihar caste identity was largely created through military service. During early days of British expansion in India, a large number of Bumihars participated in battles and revolts against the East India Company. The company also recruited Bumihar sepoys in large numbers. Campaign for higher Varna status. Bumihars claim to be descendants of Brahmins who held land grants, a theory supported by scholars such as Jogendra Nath Bhattacharya. However, other communities did not give them the ritual status of Brahmins, as most of them were cultivators during the British Raj. Some of the early censuses of British India categorized Bumihars as Shudras, the lowest of the 4 Varnas. This was considered insulting, especially since several Zamindars were Bumihars. Like many other aspirational castes, the Bumihars followed the process of Sanskritization to achieve their end. The Bumihar Zamindars and princely state rulers established caste-based associations to form a community network and to advance their claims to Brahmin status. The Pradhan Bumihar Brahmin Sabha was established in Patna in 1889. Its objective was to improve moral, social and educational reforms of the community and to represent the wants of the community to the government. The Bhumihar Brahmin Mahasabha was established in 1896. The local Bhumihar Brahmin Sabhas included the ones at Muzaffarpur, Patna, Gaya and Saran. These associations filed numerous petitions to be classified as Brahmins in the 1901 census report. Edward Albert Gate, the author of the census report, stated that the Bhumihars did not remain Brahmins, although there was evidence favoring the Brahmin origin. He wrote that the general Hindu public considered them a separate caste, which is generally, but not always, regarded as slightly superior to the Rajput Kshatriyas. Herbert Howe Priestley, the Census Commissioner of British India, believed them to be an offshoot of the Rajputs. Persistent pressure from the Mahasabha, who glorified the history of the community, led to official recognition of the Bhumihars as Brahmins in the later Raj censuses. According to Ashwani Kumar, the Bhumihar claim to Brahmin status means that today, unlike other upper castes, guard the local caste hierarchy more zealously, for they perpetually feel the pressure of being dislocated and discredited in the topsy-turvy world of caste. Besides campaigning for the Brahmin status, the caste associations also played an important role in general welfare of the community. In 1899, the Bhumihar Brahmin Mahasabha, with financial aid from Azam, established a college at Muzaffarpur. This was accredited to award degrees in the following year, and it was a significant development because education in the area was improving rapidly. But students desirous of furthering it had to travel to Bhagalpur, Calcutta or Patna. By 1920, 10% of Bhumihars in Bihar were literate, making them one of the few literate castes. In this achievement, however, they were well behind the Kasthas and some other groups. In the first half of the 20th century, the Bhumihars suffered increasing economic hardships due to the steady fragmentation of land rights among heirs and the decline in agricultural prices during the Great Depression. During this period, the Bhumihar associations served as community networks that facilitated access to English education and urban employment. As with the Rajputs, Kasthas and other high castes of Bihar, and as opposed to the methods used by most lower castes, neither the Mahasabha nor any other formal body exercised power to make and enforce caste rules. The Bhumihar Brahmin Mahasabha held annual sessions in different parts of present-day Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Among its prominent leaders was Safajanand Saraswati, a leader of the Bhumihar Brahmin Sabha of Patna. During the Balia session of 1914, Safajanand defended the Brahmin status of the Bhumihars, using quotes from Hindu scriptures to argue that priestly functions do not alone define Brahmins. In 1916, he published a book titled Bhumihar Brahmin Parichay, which outlined these arguments. He classified Brahmins into two categories, begging and non-begging, and stated that the Bhumihars were among the non-begging Brahmins. The Bhumihars of Uttar Pradesh attempted to popularize the term Bhumihar Brahmin, while discarding the term Baban. However, the term Baban remained popular in Bihar. The recognized Brahmins did not favor the Bhumihar attempts to claim an equal status, and even stopped going to Bhumihar homes to perform ceremonies. Political influence. Being traditional landlords and one of the early literate castes, the Bhumihars have been influential in the politics of Bihar since the British days. Noted Bhumihar princely state rulers included Harendra Kishore Singh and Vibhuti Narayan Singh. The Bhumihars played a pioneering role in organizing peasant, leftist and independence movements since 1910s. In 1914 and 1916, the Bhumihars of Pipra and Turkalia revolted against indigo cultivation. When Mahatma Gandhi launched Satyagraha against indigo cultivation in Motihari in 1917, a number of Bhumihar intellectuals joined the protest. These included Krishna Sinha, Ramdelu Singh, Ramnandan Mishra, Shilbhadrayaji, Karyunand Sharma and Safajanand Saraswati. While a section of Bhumihars were landowners, the vast majority belonged to tenantry. Starting in 1914, two factions emerged in the Bhumihar Mahasabha: the landowner-dominated faction led by Ganesh Dutt, and the tenant-dominated faction led by Safajanand Saraswati. Safajanand came from a Zamindar family, which had been reduced to tenant status. He attracted a large number of followers who, as tenants, were exploited by the rich landlords. His support for the non-cooperation movement also alarmed the landlords, who were loyal to the British colonial administration. The growing differences between the two factions resulted in a split in the Mahasabha in 1925-26. Safajanand established an ashram at Baita, which started attracting tenants and peasants from other castes as well. When the rich Bhumihar landlords stopped supporting Sahajanand's activities, he declared that caste associations were a means to continue the supremacy. He established a caste-agnostic peasants' movement, which later evolved into All India Kisan Sabha. In Bihar, Kisan Sabha, as well as the Communist Party of India, were identified as Bhumihar-dominated organizations for years. After Safajanand gave up caste politics, Ganesh Dutt emerged as the leader of Bhumihar Mahasabha. He later entered the Legislative Council and distributed patronage to other members of his caste. This patronage was extended further when Krishna Singh, a Bhumihar, became the Premier and Chief Minister of Bihar. His tenure saw the rise of a number of influential Bhumihar leaders including Mahesh Prasad Sinha, Krishnakant Singh, L.P. Shahi, Basawan Sinha, and Kailashpati Mishra. Sinha also worked for the welfare of the lower castes. He was the first chief minister in India to abolish the zamindari system. He also led Dalits' entry into Baidyanath temple. After Sinha's death in 1961, the Bhumihar political hegemony gradually declined. A small number of Bhumihar leaders continued to play a significant role in the state unit of the Indian National Congress. These included Ramashri Prasad Singh, Raghu Singh, Ramjatan Sinha, Shyam Sundar Singh Dharaj and Mahar Chandra Singh. The Congress parliamentarians Ganga Sharan Singh and Shyam Nandan Prasad Mishra also belonged to the Bhumihar community. Chandrasekhar Singh, the chief minister of Bihar during 1983-85, was also a Bhumihar. The Bhumihar influence in Bihar politics declined considerably after electoral defeat of Congress in the Bihar Legislative Assembly election, 1990. The backward OBC castes like Yadav, led by Lalu Prasad Yadav, replaced them in the political circles. In the Indian general election 1999, only 3 Bhumihars were elected: C.P. Thakur, Kailashpati Mishra and Raghu Singh. A few Bhumihar leaders also emerged in the political parties dominated by the lower castes. These included Akhilesh Prasad Singh and Arun Kumar. As the power in the electoral politics declined, a number of Bhumihars were attracted to Ranva Sena, a private militia established in 1994. The group has carried out armed operations against the Naxals in the region, and has been involved in atrocities against the lower castes, such as the Laxmanpur Bath massacre. influence in other fields. Being one of the early literate groups of British India, the Bhumihar community produced several prominent literary figures. These include Ramdari Singh Dinka, Rahul Sankritya Aryan, Rambriksh Banapuri and Gopal Singh Nepali. The ancestors of the Nobel Prize-winning author V.S. Naipaul were also Bhumihars. Customs and traditions. The Bhumihars follow a subset of the Brahman rituals, and claim to be Trikarma Brahmins. The Christian missionary M.A. Schering wrote in 1872 that the Bhumihars performed only 3 of the 6 prescribed Brahmanical duties. They give alms, but do not receive them. They offer sacrifices to their idols, but do not perform the duties and offices of a priesthood. They read the sacred writings, but do not teach them. Some Bhumihars in Muzaffarpur trace their lineage to Assaini Brahmins, and participate in the Muharram processions. The Bhumihars outside Purvanchal Bihar region may follow the respective local customs and traditions. For example, in Chandipur village of Murshidabad district, a section of Bhumihars became the landlords after death of the British indigo plantation owners. They are now thoroughly Bengali. They worship Kali as the primary deity, and are regarded as Brahmins by others in the village. Common surnames. Bhumihars use the same surnames as those of North Indian Brahmins, as well as some surnames in common with Rajputs. In Bihar, the Bhumihars started using the surname Sharma and the title Pandit in the 20th century. Other common, traditional Brahmin surnames used by the Bhumihars include Mishra, Dikshit, Tivan, Patak, Pandan, Upadhyaya. It is also common for Bhumihars to affix Singh to the name.